Hi everybody and welcome back to Lean English. I'm Ed and I'm here to help you achieve your pronunciation goals. In today's video I'm going to be discussing received pronunciation, or RP for short, which is often considered the standard British accent spoken by newsreaders and taught in schools. However, you may be surprised to learn that very few people actually speak with this accent today, and a new standard British accent has emerged. So let's look at how RP has changed in a bit more detail. So what is received pronunciation? RP was originally the accent of London's upper class. In the 19th century, upper class people from all over the British Empire started to adopt this accent as a way to conform in a strict class-based society. This accent was called received because it was understood by everybody, and it became synonymous with the BBC, whose newsreaders broadcast it all over the world. The phonemic symbols used to transcribe English pronunciation were codified in the 60s, when RP was at its peak, and you should already be familiar with lots of them, because they're still used by textbooks and dictionaries today. So let's look at some examples. Listen to these two sentences spoken with a more traditional RP accent and see what differences you can hear. So let's look at some examples. Listen to these two sentences spoken with a more traditional RP accent and see what differences you can hear. British English pronunciation has undergone significant social and linguistic changes in the last 60 years. Firstly, the UK has become a more egalitarian society, and regional accents are no longer an obstacle to success. In contrast, the RP accent is often viewed negatively as a sign of privilege and snobbery. Secondly, accents of London and the south of England have changed and continue to change to this day. So although London and the south of England continue to dominate the UK economically and politically, the accents of the people in power have changed. This has produced a new standard accent which is broadcast around the world and taught in schools. Several different names have been proposed for this new standard, including modern received pronunciation, general British, and standard southern British. Although they all describe the same thing, standard southern British, or SSB for short, is most accurate and less likely to cause offence. So how does SSB compare to traditional RP? The most obvious difference between SSB and RP is the vowels, which have shifted position slightly. The and U sounds are more central compared to RP, and the A and E sounds are more open. In contrast, the O and OR sounds are more closed, and the sound is identical in quality to the schwa sound. Meanwhile, the A, I and oi diphthongs have shifted starting position in a similar way, and the ear, air and diphthongs are generally pronounced as long vowel sounds. So, in an SSB accent, the previous example is more accurately transcribed. So, let's look at some examples. Listen to these two sentences spoken with a more traditional RP accent and see what differences you can hear. Evidently, many of the symbols used in phonemic transcription are out of date, but they continue to be used because they've been fixed in printed texts, such as textbooks and dictionaries. So if the symbols are inaccurate, how do we know how to pronounce a word correctly? Remember that phonemic symbols are abstract, and the sounds they represent only exist in our head. So as long as you use modern resources to learn English, you will associate modern sounds with these symbols. You're unlikely to encounter problems unless you're using very old audio samples as a model for pronunciation. If you want to know more about how RP has changed, I recommend you read English After RP by Jeff Lindsay. It's a really great book that explains how pronunciation has changed and the implications it has for students. There's a link in the description below. Well, that's the end of the lesson, but now it's your turn. Can you think of anyone who speaks with a traditional RP accent? Let me know in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe for more videos in the future. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.